Good evening, my name is Andrew Capel and today I'll be discussing how logistics decisions affect the net profit margin in an organisation. Firstly, I want to define net profit margin as the proportion of each sales dollar that is kept as profit and that is calculated as net profit divided by net sales. The benefit of any effective logistics operation is in its implementation of cost-saving strategies, and therefore any dollar that is saved affects the net profit margin of a firm both in the long and short term. Therefore, effective logistical measures affect net profit margin by the reduction of costs, usually in the form of warehousing or transportation costs, as this is two primary areas where expenses are incurred. Another way where logistics may positively affect net profit margin is through a more accurate understanding of what a customer wants and when they want it, as this will allow for time and place utility to be better accommodated, which will then assist with increased asset turnover. Attention should be specifically directed towards distribution and warehousing costs, as these are two primary expenses that are occurred and that, if minimised, will greatly increase the proportion of profit for each unit sold. An example of a firm which has recently incorporated such methods into their practices is Amazon, with the incorporation of Kiva robots into their warehouses. The benefits of this are that a Kiva robot can complete the work of a human employee in a quarter of the time. The follow-on benefits of this are the ability to store 50% more inventory, or, if chosen, to move into a smaller warehouse. The benefits that are associated with this are A, the reduction in employee wages, and B, the ability to hold increased stock, which will increase asset turnover if necessary, or C, if chosen, to decrease the size of the warehouse leased, which will reduce costs through this measure. This provides but one example of how logistics can positively affect net profit margin. Ultimately, the savings that are provided through this can be passed along to the consumer, and this will allow, if decided to, for the implementation of a cost leadership strategy, which will increase brand equity and the status of the firm within its chosen industry. Granted, this strategy would incur quite considerable costs in the short term. However, in the long term, it would greatly increase net profit margin by, as stated, reducing wages, allowing for the implementation of more effective warehousing measures, and this is highlighted by work being done in a quarter of the time. It is for this reason, though, that the benefit of logistics and net profit margin was differentiated into the short and the long term. Inherent in logistics is the storage and the transportation of goods, and this primarily deals with inventory as its main asset that is dealt with. Therefore, the ability to minimise these inventory costs is a staple goal of any effective logistics department. And one way this can be done is through the use of primary transportation or premium transportation, which does appear quite counterintuitive. However, this does carry quite considerable benefits in terms of the assurances that the product's going to arrive on time at the correct destination. This ties into what we stated earlier in terms of time and place utility being reached and accommodated. And another area that is not often referred to but is quite considerably benefited is the ability of these assets, these products, to be actually taken off the balance sheet as unsold assets and referred into the revenues column. The use of robotics has become increasingly popular in the warehousing component of the logistics chain, as stated with Amazon and Kiva. However, it's also been increasingly incorporated into the transportation area of logistics, with firms such as Google and Daimler actually implementing the development of automated machines or automated vehicles, which carries quite considerable benefits in terms of net profit margin. A, in terms of the reduction of wages, and B, in terms of increased efficiency, as there is now no more need for these vehicles to stop in terms of rest, as is mandated by law for human drivers. Another way where inventory can be positively benefited by logistics is through their use of radio frequency identification, and this is one way where inventory costs can be reduced. The way this is done is by increasing the accuracy of inventory counts by up to 80%, which will actually allow for stored items to be reduced by 50%. For a larger firm, this is actually really beneficial in terms of ensuring that costs are minimised as much as possible. However, the installation costs are quite sizable, therefore it would not be practical for Within the supply chain, logistics have an undisputed role and can greatly increase the net profit margin of a firm in terms of cost minimizing strategies. There are multiple more avenues this can be done. However, I've listed for you today 2 of the primary avenues where this can be done in terms of warehousing and transportation. I'm more than happy to speak on other ways this can be done in more depth at a later date.